Hi everyone, Karen here. Today is the first video in a series I'm going to be calling Get Your Cricut Out and Use It. So I know a lot of people have Cricuts and they don't use it because they find it's confusing, and I know it's hard because it doesn't come with an owner's manual. So we're going to start with some things, and now I'm going to be using my Cameo some of the times, but it will be for things that are exactly the same on the Cricut. If something is very different on the Cricut, then I will be using both. I will go back and forth or make two different videos depending on, how different it is. So we're going to do this. We're going to get them out. We're going to use those machines because I love my machine, and we're going to make some cards and projects. So let me turn this around so you can see my computer, and we will make the first one. All right, so here we are in Cricut Design Space in the canvas, and we are going to recreate this card here. So the first thing we're going to do is open up a text box. Let's move it over here. Come on, Cricut. We're going to change this to Happy Birthday. Now it's going to make it really, really huge, so we're going to resize it down. So I'm going to make my font about 40. That brings it into a reasonable amount. All right, let me move this one out of the way. All right. So we're going to make an offset for this. So we're going to come up here to offset. And we're going to apply. I'm going to make this a different color so it's easier to see. There we go. So now we have this. We need to make sure this is grouped together. And we are going to pull this down to something closer to 4 inches. And something closer to 9. So I'll be close. Now I notice when you stretch this like this, it distorts the offset sometimes. So I'm going to ungroup this. I don't like the way that distorted it. So I am going to disconnect this. I'm going to take my Happy Birthday. And I'm going to do that again. Apply. All right, so now we have something that is not quite 9. It's bigger than 4, so let's scoot that up a little bit. All right, let's first group it together. And now, there we go. Okay. All right, we'll leave it like that for now. All right, so now this is going to be the front of our card. So we have our letter and we have the color that's going to be around it, but we need to make what's going to be the card base. So we're going to ungroup this. We're going to highlight the purple, and we're going to make an offset of that. Now when it makes this offset, you want to make sure that there's no holes in it. So let's move the black. Grab the black. Oh, black on black is fun. All right, let's change that to orange so I can see what I'm doing. And let's move this down here. All right, so this has no holes in it, so that looks good. So let's take this, which is grouped, pull it down here, center it on here. Let's temporarily group all this together. And now let's get it to the size we want it to be. So at this point, you can change it to be an A2, 5x7, slimline, and it depends on the word. Like if you were just doing a hello or a thanks, you can do it as an A2 or a 5x7. But with it being a happy birthday, it's a pretty long word, so we're going to want to keep that as a slimline. So we're going to shrink this in just smaller than 9, so it's going to be 8.88, and we want it to be slightly smaller than 4 to make sure it all fits in the envelope well. So this looks good. So this is 8.88 by 3.89. Close enough. So now we're going to ungroup. We're going to take our yellow underneath. Oh, and that just stretched it. All right, go back. All right, we're going to pull this up. And we're going to duplicate this. All right, so now we have 2 of these. This one, I'm going to move back down here. This will go on the front of the card. Now this one we're going to turn into our card base. So we're going to duplicate it one more time. This one we need to flip. So we are going to flip it vertically. So now this is the top, this here, and this here are the same line. We're then going to align these, and we want them to overlap just enough. Look at it here. We have space. We can see the 2 black lines. See the 2 black lines. Oh, okay, now we're overlapping. One of the lines is underneath there, so that's good. Just a little bit. So now we're going to align these to the left. All right, and now we are going to weld them. We'll group them together, and I will weld. I have to remember where the buttons are, because I usually use my Cameo. All right, so now we have one big piece. And that's all there is to it, folks. So this one you will score along here. You will cut this out. This will fit on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. That will be your card base. Now, because we did overlap it, this little part here that's wavy on top gets cut off. So that's why we have one of these. So you will then print out one of these in whatever color you want. And then you will print out one of the purple and one of the letters. And you just layer them on top. And this, like I said, gets scored down the middle. And that is all there is to it. So I want you to try this. You can do it. You absolutely can. So now I will go and switch over to the Cameo, and I will show you how to do it in the Cameo if you have a Cameo. All right. So here we are in Silhouette now. So let's go and make a text box, and we will write in Happy Birthday. And I want it to be a different color. So you can see what we're doing here. Let's bring this over here. Let's change our font to something chunky. All right, now we're going to get rid of that. So we're going now we can see the dimensions of the box. So we want the box to be not quite 8, and we want it to be not quite 4. Here we go. So now we're going to go over here to the offset button. And we're going to make an offset for that. Apply. Go ahead and make that another color. Let's see, we'll make that green. We're then going to grab the green. Now because it's 2 words, we're going to have to grab the green together and put it as one group. And then we're going to make an offset for that. So now let's apply that and see what that looks like. Make that blue. So let's pull the birthday down and the letters down. So we have a little space here. And there's another little space over here. So let's make it a compound path. And now we can highlight this little spot here and get rid of that. Now we need to get rid of this hole here. So let's double click on it. So now we have our lines. So now we can just erase our lines we don't want. There we go. So now this should be let's see. Let's line that back up and group that. Bring this back up here. Line all that up. All right, so now we need this part here to here to be about 4 inches. So let's go ahead and stretch this out. To just under 4 inches. All right, making this harder than it has to be. So you want this to be, let's go 3.9. Oops, that was not grouped together. All right, go back, group it. Okay, and the height is 3.9 and it is 8.7. Okay, so that's perfect. So now let's ungroup it now that we have the right size. We'll ungroup. And all we need to work with, let's make a copy of the blue first. All right, pull our copy over here. And let's pull our happy birthday over here. So now this, we're going to go over to the replicate panel. And we are going to replicate to the top. Okay, we're going to mirror it to the top. So it's going to flip it up. So now it's all matched up. So now we do have a line there and we really don't want that line. So let's go ahead and bring this down just a little bit. And then we will take the two of these together and we will weld. And that is all there is, folks. So this is going, let's make this a different color. We'll make that purple just so we can see it. So now this will be our card base. And you will score it in half at about 4. This will be the front. And the reason why you want both is because where you put the two pieces together, you lose a little bit of your detail. So you're going to want to use this one because this one will have all the detail on top. And then this happy birthday will be on top. And there you go. There's your slimline. And, you know, if you want to make it a different size, you just pick your different dimensions before you start adding your offsets. And that's it. So I want you to give it a try. I want to see people trying to do this. Get those machines off the shelf, plug them in, get them going, and we will do other things. Because I use this a lot. You can make your own flowers. You can make your own layering backgrounds. There's a lot you can do with these machines. So until next time, stay crafty.